Virginia State University is the United States' first fully state-supported four-year institution of higher learning for African Americans. Alfred W. Harris, a black attorney and state delegate, introduced the bill to establish the Virginia Normal and Collegiate Institute. The bill was passed in 1882. The Virginia Normal and Collegiate Institute's first president was the Honorable John Mercer Langston, former dean of Howard University's Law School, who was later elected to Congress as the first African-American representative from Virginia. United States Senator from Virginia, William Mahone, helped to arrange the 1880 sale of the Atlantic, Mississippi, and Ohio Railroad to partially fund this normal school for black teachers in Ettrick. In 1890, Virginia designated the Virginia Normal and Collegiate Institute as one of its land-grant colleges to comply with the amended Federal Morrill Act, which requires states to either open their public land-grant colleges to all races or establish additional land-grant educational facilities for blacks. In 1902, the Virginia legislature revised the Charter Act to curtail the collegiate program and renamed it the Virginia Normal and Industrial Institute. By 1930, the collegiate program was restored, a four-year curriculum was added, and the institute was renamed Virginia State College for Negroes. The two-year branch in Norfolk was added to the college in 1944, and the parent school was renamed Virginia State College in 1946. The Norfolk Division became a four-year branch in 1956 and gained independence as Norfolk State College in 1969. The legislature passed a law in 1979 to provide the present name Virginia State University.
Bridget Robertson. I am assistant professor in the Mass Communications Department. I'm also the Mass Communications Internship Coordinator. The event today is what we call our Jumpstart Mass Communications Career Expo. We invite in a number of vendors who come in and offer internship opportunities for students as well as employers. We've done that for the last several years. This year we did something a little bit differently. We invited in a panel of experts from various fields to find out more about what they need to do to be better and to be more competitive when they leave the university.
Again, to the students, I'm sure you guys are going to make us proud, as you've always done. And to the potential employers or the professionals, at the end, you will prove me right that we have the best students here, the best faculty members, the best administrators that are all invested in making our students the greatest employees that you can have.
Booker T. Washington once said, "Don't judge me by the height that I've reached, but rather by the depth from which I've come." And a lot of people interpret that to mean that life is about a journey. So today I want to thank our panelists for sharing part of their journey with us so that we can use that to help map out our own pathways. You know, since 1882, can you imagine that Virginia State University has been about the business of building a better world. And so we now go out and prepare men and women to serve. Not only serve this community, the nation, and the world. One of the other things that we do from time and time again is we try to bring the world to you. So again today with our panelists, we are bringing a wealth of experience and knowledge. And that your task today is to be engaging, ask the right questions. You hear me? So that what? Your pathway will be that much easier.
My name is Andrew Sneed, and I currently work for Henrico Division of Fire. But that's who I work for. Let me tell you who I am and how I got here. I was a student just like yourself, 1980, that's a long time ago, but in 1980, one of my professors came up to me and said, "Have you ever considered public safety?" And I was in the School of Community Service, Urban Studies and Planning, minoring in political science. I said, "No, I haven't." So then all of a sudden she said, "You should really consider." Well, I didn't consider being a police officer, I considered being a firefighter. And from that moment on, I've never worked. I just enjoyed the opportunity of being employed. I worked 26 years for Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department, and now I'm working for Henrico Division of Fire. And I'm having the opportunity to give back to students like yourself and ensuring that you know of the opportunity in public safety. You ain't gonna get rich. You ain't gonna get rich. I'll tell you that right now. You ain't gonna get rich. But what you'll find is every day is a new experience. And the opportunity to give back to your community is a blessing. I tell people now, I've never worked, I just was called into the profession of public safety.
My name is Marty Steele. I am the Director of Business Development for the Richmond Flying Squirrels right up the road in Richmond. We are the AA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. My background is, I've only been in Richmond area since February of 2014. Before that, I was in North Carolina for a long time, and I have a little bit of a varied background. I went to law school in San Diego, University of San Diego. I practiced law for about 7 years and decided I wanted to do something that I thought wasn't work and fun, and I got into minor league baseball. When I grow up, I'll figure out what I want to do, but right now, I'm in minor league baseball. We have had Virginia State interns work with us. They've done a tremendous job. I'm very impressed with the work ethic and the people that I've worked with that are from Virginia State. Appreciate what you guys are doing and what you've done for us.
I am Michael White. Some people know me as Bam Bam. Fully, I guess, will be Micah Bam Bam White. Stand-up comic, been doing comedy for 20 years now. I also own a company called Rva Has Talent. What we do with that company is take local artists, local nonprofits, put them together, help them both raise money. My desire in the field that I am in is to be a little bit bigger than the stage and use my talent to make a difference, not just make a difference financially, which is a good thing, but also to make a difference in the community. I have worked closely with the Mass Communications Department. Last year, we had about 20 interns and volunteers that worked with us on producing shows, open mics that we have, different concerts that we have. And now actually we probably will bring in that entertainment to the campus of Virginia State. So there's a lot of opportunity, and it's not just to be on stage, but things that go on behind the stage, things that go on before the show even happens. I'm here to bring you any information I can bring you today to help you make a good choice in what you want.
So I'm sure that some of our students find that to be exciting, sexy, and fun. But could you talk about some of the downfalls of the reality of working in the entertainment industry, so that there's the realistic portion of working in entertainment?
We're kind of introduced into the entertainment world because of what we see on TV. So we start with our visualization of what entertainment is: lights, action, camera, money, fame. That kind of draws us in. Then we start to go on that journey, and you start to realize that in order to get to that moment, there's a lot of stuff you have to go through. And if you're not real about wanting to be that top-notch entertainment, you ain't gonna make it. Because there's gonna be so many doubts, so many different trials and tribulations you're gonna have to go through. For example, me being a comic, I knew I was funny when I first started. Why? Because my grandmama and my auntie and my cousin them told me I was funny. But it wasn't them that had to approve me to go to the next step. It was an audience that didn't know me. So when I first got booed, of course I'm walking off stage going, these people don't know what they're talking about. Then I had to be real with myself. I'm not here to appease the people that pushed me to get here. I'm here to appease the people that's in front of me. And if I'm not real about my desire, people are gonna boo me and I'm gonna quit. Another thing is that you don't have to be famous to be successful. And everybody that's famous ain't successful. And a lot of people get that confused. They think because you got a nice car in the video that you got a nice car at home. Some people ain't even got a home and got a nice car in the video, and that's real. When I first moved out to Los Angeles and I started to hang around famous people, I started to notice I was making more money than they were. But in my mind, I thought that they were big time because that's what the TV told me. One of the biggest things, realizations I came to when I left LA to come back and start my company was, and I'll give you this seed, before you find out what you want to be, find out who you want to be. Because who you want to be is going to be the foundation of what. Does that make sense to everybody? Because if you just want to be something, you'll do anything to become famous. You can become famous in 15 seconds on Instagram. So it's easy to become famous today. Find out who you want to be, because that's going to fuel the longevity and from where you start and how you finish. Not what first, but who first. And that's the biggest thing.
Hey Richmond, what have you been doing that's innovative, fun, and new? Lose that puzzled look. Check out What Works Rva TV weekly for a spotlight on people, places, events, and much more. Watch What Works Rva TV Tuesdays at 5 on CW Richmond. We're speaking with the president of the Petersburg Chamber of Commerce, Danielle Fitzhugh. Danielle, it's great to be here, and with you, you have Tom Bandy and Nick Walker. And again, we're excited about all of the wonderful things happening here in the city of Petersburg. So we're here in Old Town Petersburg, and tell us a little bit about this area here on High Street.
Right, so this is primarily a residential area, but you're in walking distance to everything you want to do.
Sure.
So in the theme of the trendy live, shop, and play, this is it. So you can rent a home here, you can buy a home here, remodel it, or buy one that's already ready to go. There's some great lofts here. This particular building, they have their historic designation plaque on the front doors of both buildings, so you can have your own little taste of history right here in Petersburg.
Sure, sure.
It's absolutely a great time to pick Petersburg. Behind us, we are standing at the foothills of Virginia State University, who's getting ready to open up a $56 million multi-purpose center. And with that will come new people visiting our community. And we're going to be ready for them to see everything that's going on and happening, all the developments that are happening right here in Petersburg. So they too can say, how can I get involved? How can I be a part of it?
Well, we're seeing a huge influx of people coming to the area, moving, some of which moving back to the area, and a lot of it has to do with the economic development. There are new homes being built not far from here, the high school, new single-family homes. Then, of course, a number of lofts, apartments right here in the city of Petersburg. So that stands the reason why we're seeing so many businesses coming to the area.
Absolutely. If you haven't been to Petersburg in the last 5 years, it's a new community, it's a new city. Take the time, come down, see everything we're doing in our old town and across the city.
Tom, tell us a little bit about your involvement in this boom in the city of Petersburg.
I came back 10 years ago and we took one of the old historic buildings and located our business here, and we're just loving it. I get phone calls several times a week from people wanting to relocate here, and they're excited about what's happening. It's a real treat to see all the new businesses coming in.
There's a lot of excitement in the air for sure. Nick, of course, you are heavily involved in the rebirth of Petersburg, or the growth, the big boom here. Tell us what you do.
Yes, we're a developer in the area. We own property in Petersburg, and we develop a lot of property in commercial and industrial property in Petersburg. We've been native to Petersburg. Our company was born in Petersburg, and we've been here all our lives. This is a great time to be in Petersburg, as Danielle said. The architecture is beautiful, it's wonderful. You have the river here. Virginia State's been a wonderful delegate for us, and it's a great time to be in the buzz that we're in right now.
How about downtown? Development happening there in the downtown area, or
We
starting to
do.
happen?
We do. We have developers that are invested in our community, that are building business and bringing new businesses from outside in to relocate here. Our restaurants are matched to none. We would put them up against any, and they're nice, independent, good food.
There are a lot of beautiful structures here in Petersburg that date way back to the probably 1800s or certainly early 1900s. But a lot of the structures that we come to know and love are being refurbished. But tell us a little bit about all of the old structures that are being occupied now, some of which for retail, some of it resident.
Right, so we're right on the edge of the historic district here in Petersburg, and so a lot of our property owners have gone in, rehabbed the buildings, turned them into commercial space, or occupied them for their personal residence. So, you know, if your house isn't 100 years old here, it's not old.
There's been a lot of activity here and around the city of Petersburg in reference to entertainment and a lot more. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So the city of Petersburg has a large percentage of buildings and structures that date back prior to the Civil War that are still in condition. So movie locations is a great spot here in Petersburg because they don't have to build the infrastructure. The infrastructure is already here. So that creates jobs, that creates revenue for our businesses that already exist here.
Sure.
And then we become a destination for production companies to come in and film. That's more money coming into the city, more tax base going into the city coffers, and we're all about growing Petersburg.
If you're in danger of losing your home, what you should do is give Keeping You Home Real Estate Consultant a phone call at 804-349-6120. Our mission is to make sure that every homeowner that purchases a home retains the right to keep it. Keeping You Home Real Estate Consultant can help you avoid this. They have the ability and the experience to save your home. Keeping You Home Real Estate Consultant.
Good morning, I'm Mike Foreman. I'm Director of the Office of Environmental Education at the Department of Conservation and Recreation, and also a faculty member of the Virginia Natural Resources Leadership Institute.
I'm Richard Conti. I'm the Chief Wonder Officer of the Science Museum of Virginia.
Nice. What a great title.
Yeah, I get a lot of mileage out of that.
Well, for the last 16 years, we've been conducting this 9-month, 6-session course that deals with conflict resolution, mediation, group process, but also natural resources issues that are pertinent to advancing the environmental issues in the Commonwealth, such as agriculture and coal mining and uranium mining, those issues that are up and bubbling up. We try to deal with them, teach people how to collaborate and deal effectively with those issues. Today is one of, sometimes we have 2 alumni events a year. This is one of those in this particular year, and we come to the Science Museum because it's a center of learning, a center of innovation, and we're going to learn about neuro-linguistic programming today. We're going to hear from some alumni on what we call TED Talks, you know, our short talks on leadership, and it's just going to be a grand day. We have about 50 people registered, so we're looking forward to today.
I'm Tanya Dankla-Cobb. I'm Director of the Institute for Environmental Negotiations at the University of Virginia. My grounding and training is as a mediator at the community level and a large group facilitator. I am so excited to introduce Jamie Reeser, who is going to be giving the training today for our Natural Resources Leadership Institute. It is a brand new topic that the Leadership Institute has never looked at, and I'm excited because it is really going to help people with their conflict resolution techniques.
Thank you for having me here today and for the opportunity to speak about neuro-linguistic programming, NLP as it's known for short, in the context of environmental problem solving. Our environmental problems, while we may talk about them in terms of context, landscapes or species, whether that's plants or animals, ultimately the driving factor behind all of our environmental issues are people's beliefs, people's behaviors. The field of NLP has important role to play in the environmental dialogue because it is a field focused on people and explicitly how to understand how people relate to particular contexts, to the world around them, to each other, and to their own internal mental maps of the world, and how that influences their belief systems and their behaviors. Once we have that understanding in place, we can understand how to make changes that are congruent with the individual and congruent with the context in which the individual finds themselves. So that's a little bit of what we hope to focus on today.
What my hope is for today is that people will come away with a new skill in their toolbox that will really ramp up their awareness of what's going on with the people in the room.
Right.
And how can they use that new awareness to problem solve, to help the problem solving be more successful.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. One of the classic challenges we find in environmental conflict, if we look at the content, people may actually be in more agreement than is readily apparent in the dynamics taking place in the process. And that may come out of something as simple as one group of stakeholders happens to be motivated to move away from problems. They see a problem, they want to move away from it. The other group of stakeholders is motivated towards solutions. They're looking into the horizon for things to resolve the situation at hand, to make things better. And simply because you have one group that wants to talk about the problem set, because they're motivated by seeing the problem explicitly, and you've got another group of people that wants to talk solution, you've got a polarizing factor taking place. When we can reframe the conversation such that it recognizes both the need to move away from the problem as well as the need to move towards solutions, to be visionary, you've got a better chance of meeting the profiles that are natural to both stakeholder groups and thus moving the entire group forward collectively.
It's brilliant, and I'm going to use this actually on Thursday where I have that dynamic happening in a situation that I'm facilitating. So I'm really excited to be learning from you, Jamie, and thank you for being with us. I really appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to it today.
I'm Robert Bowling, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Child Savers. Child Savers is a nonprofit organization that's been in our community about 92 years. And we focus our work around an incredible mission to guide our community's children through life's critical moments with trauma-informed mental health and child development services. We're in the Churchill section of the city of Richmond, high in its east end, and we overlook the city of Richmond, which is great because behind the building is a wonderful lawn that we use as part of our therapy sessions. You'll often see the kids outside playing with the therapist so that they can run off and regulate some of the negative energy that they have been demonstrating either at home or in school. This building was built by the architect, or designed by the architect, Philip Johnson, and it really is one of those buildings that people readily recognize in the city of Richmond. It's really a wonderfully designed building. The tower in the back was the old radio tower, and Child Savers took ownership of this building about 10 years ago and transformed it into a place that is really useful and a useful tool for our community. Let's go inside and take a look. From the outside, we look like we looked 50 years ago. But in the inside is a soothing environment with soothing colors like soft greens and blues that really help regulate children when they come in to experience our therapy work. In addition to that, when we finished the building, a group of board members were interested in decorating the building in a way that was inspirational for children. So we have, as part of Child Savers Endowment, a collection of over 70 pieces of art, mostly paintwork, but some folk art. And those pieces are important for the children because they can look and see beautiful artwork, things that they often do not see in their everyday lives. So Child Savers has taken an old piece of Richmond history and created a new legacy for our community. We really look to have every child in our community happy, safe, healthy, and ready to learn. So we provide outpatient mental health care for children up to 17 years of age. And that care focuses in on play therapy, art therapy, animal therapy, to really help children express some of the issues that they're facing, whether those issues are organic, like bipolar disorder, for example, or whether they are the result of some kind of trauma, like domestic violence, or even being a witness to significant traumatic events. We've now entered in one of our therapy rooms, and this room is called the Sand Tray Room. Sand Tray Room provides an important tool for us as we serve children who've experienced a traumatic event. The Sand Tray Room really provides an opportunity for the child to express, using play, what has happened to him or her. So we have a sand tray table here that is full with sand, and then this room is filled with all kinds of figurines that really helps a child to express the things that have happened to them that they have a difficult time talking about. And I'm going to give you a very tough example. We had a young child who was around 5 or 6 years old who was nearly drowned in a bathtub. And she expressed during therapy was that she wanted to be a mermaid. And the therapist asked her, why did you want to be a mermaid? And she said, the reason I wanted to be a mermaid is the mermaid could breathe underwater. She had watched the movie, The Little Mermaid. And if she was a mermaid breathing underwater, she wouldn't die. And so this room becomes an important piece of the assessment work and the ongoing therapy that we do with children to help them understand that their life can be better and they can build a resilience and cope well with any condition that has happened to them. So our work is critical for our community, and it really changes the lives of children such that we can produce young people who are ready to participate fully in the local society, in the statewide society, and in the national and international societies.
The Virginia Juvenile Justice Association started in 1966. We began our association to provide advocacy for court-involved juveniles. Each child deserves an opportunity to grow into the best person they can, but they need our help. We are the village to make this happen, offering scholarships, providing necessities, ensuring proper training for our professionals. We want to ensure that each child is given the opportunity to be successful.
What Works RVA. Give us a call at 804-649-7400 to find out how you could be a guest on our show and learn more about this show's sponsorship packages and opportunities. What Works RVA is a production of Soul of Virginia, all rights reserved. The comments and opinions expressed by the guests do not necessarily reflect the views of Soul of Virginia or this station.
We're at the St. Augustine Catholic Parish, located at 4400 Beulah Road, where on September the 9th from 4 to 9, we will have Crab Feast and Resource Showcase for the Virginia Juvenile Justice Association Capital District. The funds will be used for scholarships, professional development, and providing needed resources for the court-involved juveniles. We hope to see you there.